In the movie Ray, Lorenz Tate played the character of Quincy Jones, and it was an autobiography about Ray Charles. And I remember in one of the scenes, the character Lorenz Tate playing Quincy Jones was explaining to Ray how he would never play the Chitlin circuit. And for those that don't know what the Chitlin circuit was, it was the South. It was when artists, entertainers would come to the South and they would play in front of segregated audiences, where you might have all the Europeans down front and all of the so-called black people up a tier, or it might be one side so-called black people, one side European. So in this particular scene, when Lorenz Tate was expressing to Jamie Foxx was playing Ray Charles in the scene, was saying how he would never play Chitlin Circuit again. He said, and I can't remember the specific age, but he was saying a 70-year-old black man is a boy in the South. Black men have a different kind of thing to fight against, because we're the most feared, and for many, many reasons why we're the most feared. But my whole point is, a young man today don't really understand completely all the struggles that historically so-called black and more men have went through, and what we have overcome, the many things, the many hurdles that we have overcome to be, quote unquote, the first at doing so many different things. It's unmentionable how many of the first that the original black and more man has brought to civilization that gets no credit in abundance. But today we have this term of toxic. And I always hate that word, because toxic only to me should go towards something that is in a petroleum or poison, should be referred to something like that. So, but this term of being having a toxic masculinity is now in a society where they want it to be almost eradicated and out of men, out of boys, which is insane. As time passed, tables will always turn, as in most cases it is perfectly fine in today's society in the West for a woman to proclaim all of her masculinity, and also would judge a man's masculinity in giving feminine qualities to men in their actions, as most men have heard the term that a lot of us are not real men. And I speak about the black man first and all the struggles to even be considered a man in society, to now have to go against is seemingly our own women, and a large part of the West, women in general, are what a man really is. But when all of these men are surrounded by women, if there are many, quote unquote, fatherless homes, I ain't gonna say not as many as you think, but for the number that there are, and no masculine leadership to lead any of these young men into their futures, I don't think the problem is masculinity at all. Maybe the problem is that boys to men don't really receive any masculinity. They receive a lot of feminine emotion or things that they cannot be, and not enough examples, not enough influence, not enough of being in the environment of men being men. And men being men does not look like what women are, nor could it ever be. And that's the problem we have today.